Hello, Manchester City fan. If you're always up to date with the latest news and want to know everything about your beloved team, you've come to the right place. In today's video, we'll bring you the latest details about Manchester City and their stellar performances, plus a major update that could change the club's future. So don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on everything about the citizens. Manchester City recently delivered one of their best performances of the season, with an impressive 4-0 victory over Newcastle United. The match was at the Etihad Stadium, and the team showcased a superior level of play, dominating the game from start to finish. Before this match, both teams were tied on points, but City showed their strength and secured a convincing win. The standout player was Omar Marish, who scored a sensational hat-trick, including a goal assisted by goalkeeper Ederson, who, despite playing with an injury, was able to contribute to the team's performance. In addition to Marish, James McY also got on the scoreboard, making the victory even more impressive. However, another name that stood out in a very positive way was Nico Gonzalez. The midfielder, who joined Manchester City in January, had a stellar performance, which didn't go unnoticed by fans and the media. Gonzalez was key in building play and controlling the midfield, and his performance stats are remarkable. He completed over 100 passes during the match, something no City player had achieved so far in the 2024-25 season. Additionally, Nico was highly precise, making at least 10 forward passes with an accuracy rate above 95%. To give you an idea of the significance of this feat, the last City player to achieve this was Rodri, in a match against Fulham in May 2024, when the team won 4-0. Gonzalez's performance was a surprise to many, as he didn't play in City's loss to Real Madrid in the Champions League. After his great performance against Newcastle, he showed himself to be a crucial piece in the midfield, something the team has been missing this season, especially with Rodri's absence. Manager Pep Guardiola showered praise on the player, even comparing him to Rodri himself, calling him Mini Rodri, due to his ability to control the tempo of the game, his presence on the field, and his technical skills. This shows the great confidence Guardiola has in Gonzalez, and he certainly has a bright future ahead at Manchester City. On his social media, Nico shared his excitement about his Premier League debut with the Citizens shirt. He wrote, "The best way to make my Premier League debut, winning in front of our fans. Thanks for the amazing atmosphere at the Etihad. Looking forward to many special moments with City." Nico's excitement is palpable, and fans are certainly looking forward to his journey with the team. Now it's your turn to weigh in, City fan. With Nico Gonzalez's excellent performance, do you think he could be the ideal replacement for Rodri, especially if the Spaniard needs a rest or is unavailable at some point? Leave your opinion in the comments below, but don't think the news ends there. Although the victory was impressive, City also had to deal with some important absences during the match. Ruben Dias, one of the defensive pillars, was unable to play the full 90 minutes due to physical issues, and Pep Guardiola decided to leave him out of the team. To make matters worse, Nathan Ake also missed the match due to health concerns and some minor worries about his physical condition. Although both players were present for the trip to Newcastle, they didn't take part in the 4-0 win. After the match, Guardiola was asked about Dias and Ake's situations and responded cautiously, saying, "I hope so, but today they weren't ready." Ruben said, "I'm not in a condition to play 90 minutes, maybe 15 or 20, and with Reece on the bench, I didn't want to take any risks." Nathan had health problems and is still dealing with the effects after the Real Madrid match, so neither of them was ready to play. Now the big question is whether Dias and Ake will be fit for the upcoming Champions League match against Real Madrid. Guardiola was cautious in stating that City's chances of advancing to the next phase of the Champions League are minimal. He highlighted that the victory against Newcastle was important, but that the margin for beating Real Madrid at the Bernabeu would be small, noting that the chance of qualification was only 1% before the win over the Magpies. Despite the season's challenges, Guardiola and his players are determined to fight until the end. Regarding Jack Grealish, who also didn't play against Newcastle, Guardiola made it clear that the player was still recovering from his injury, sustained in the first match against Real Madrid. The expectation is that Grealish will continue his recovery for the next Champions League match. Now that we've talked about the injuries and the important victory over Newcastle, let's discuss something even more exciting for the future of Manchester City, the potential new signing that Pep Guardiola already has in mind to replace one of the team's biggest stars, Kevin De Bruyne. Yes, you heard that right. Guardiola already has a name in mind to fill the gap left by De Bruyne, and he would cost no less than $100 million. The young talent in question is Florian Wirtz, the midfielder from Bayer Leverkusen. The search for a worthy replacement for De Bruyne is not new. The Belgian, who has always been the main creative force in City's midfield, has been struggling to maintain consistency due to physical issues. As a result, Guardiola is starting to think about the future and has already set his sights on Wirtz, who has been standing out as one of the most promising players in European football. The 20-year-old midfielder has shown impressive quality in the Bundesliga, being one of the pillars of Bayer Leverkusen in their journey to the top of German football. Wirtz has everything to become a global star. He is quick, creative, and possesses a unique vision of the game, making him one of the most sought-after players by elite clubs. Manchester City is not alone in the race for his talent, as giants like Real Madrid and Barcelona are also keeping an eye on the player. However, it seems that City has a major advantage. They have already started negotiations with Bayer Leverkusen to try and seal the deal as quickly as possible. Bayer Leverkusen, of course, is not going to make Wirtz's departure easy. The German club knows the player's potential and is asking for an astronomical sum to let him go. The initial price is around $100 million, and Leverkusen also demands a sell-on clause, ensuring that they can profit even more from Wirtz's future if he is sold again. This means that, if Manchester City really wants to secure the young talent, they will need to fork out a considerable amount. But why did Guardiola choose Wirtz among so many options in the market? The answer is simple. He sees Florian Wirtz as a key piece for the future of City. The midfielder has characteristics that fit perfectly into Guardiola's style of play. His ability to decide games, create plays, and act decisively in the midfield is exactly what City needs to maintain their competitiveness at the highest level, both in the Premier League and in the Champions League. Wirtz, with his natural talent and ability to influence the game, could be the ideal piece to replace De Bruyne and ensure Manchester City's success in the years to come. Signing Florian Wirtz would undoubtedly bring a revolution to the team. Wirtz's youth, talent, and vision of the game are qualities that could guarantee a world-class midfield for City for many years. Guardiola believes he has everything to be the new brain of the team, just as De Bruyne was for so long. The young German still has much to develop, but his performances already show that he is ready to face challenges at one of the biggest clubs in the world. With the potential departure of De Bruyne looming, City knows they need to act quickly to ensure a smooth transition without a drop in performance. And, according to reports, Manchester City is willing to do whatever it takes to bring Florian Wirtz to the Etihad Stadium, including the hefty investment demanded by Bayer Leverkusen. With the possible arrival of Florian Wirtz, Manchester City is preparing for a new era in midfield. Guardiola has shown his desire not only to maintain the high level of competitiveness of the team, but also to ensure that the club remains at the forefront of world football for many years. The incorporation of young talents, such as Wirtz, could be the key to ensuring that City continues to dominate in the coming seasons, especially after the retirement of great players like De Bruyne, who, at 33, is already beginning to feel the effects of time. Furthermore, the investment in the young talent from Bayer Leverkusen represents a continuation of Guardiola's philosophy of investing in players with great growth potential who can adapt to the style of play required at the Etihad. Wirtz, with his refined technique, ability to read the game, and skill in dismantling defenses, fits perfectly into this model. His role in the team would be similar to De Bruyne's, but with the advantage of being younger, with a long career ahead to further establish himself as one of the best players in the world. But, as we've mentioned, City is not the only club interested in Florian Wirtz. The competition is fierce. Real Madrid, which is constantly looking to renew its squad with young stars for the next generation, is also keeping an eye on the German midfielder. Additionally, Barcelona, despite its financial difficulties, continues to search for talents that could change the course of their team in the coming years. This places Manchester City in a position of urgency. The club will need to speed up its negotiations to avoid losing this great prospect to their rivals. This is a crucial moment for City because securing Wirtz's signing means not only strengthening the team, but also sending a clear message to competitors. City is not only competing in the present, but also preparing to dominate the future. With a combination of young talent and experienced players, City is shaping a squad capable of maintaining its supremacy for many years. Speaking of young talents, we cannot fail to mention the importance of Manchester City's youth development. The club's academy has shown great potential, with several promising players emerging every season. Players like Cole Palmer, who has already had some opportunities with the first team, and other names that are rising, aim to integrate further into the squad, reducing the need for large-scale signings and allowing the club to build its own generation of stars. Guardiola has been a master at integrating these young talents into the first team, offering them the opportunity to shine while maintaining the level of competitiveness required by the Premier League and international competitions. The case of Nico Gonzalez, who recently arrived and has already proven to be an important piece, is a perfect example of how the manager knows how to work with new players and get the best out of them. Now, with the possibility of Wirtz joining the squad, City could become even stronger, not only in the present, but also in the future. The transition between generations of players will be essential for the club to continue dominating the Premier League and aiming for success in the Champions League. We must not forget that Manchester City still has a lot to fight for this season, and the signing of a key player like Wirtz would only add more quality and depth to the squad. Of course, the pressure on Guardiola will continue to grow as the team progresses in such tough competitions. Even with the Premier League title virtually secured, Guardiola's focus will always be on the Champions League, a competition that has eluded City for several years. The expectation is that with the right additions, the team will finally be able to conquer the much-coveted Champions League trophy, and the arrival of Wirtz could be one of the key elements in achieving this goal. So, City fan, what do you think of all this? Would the arrival of Wirtz be a major step for the future of the club? Or do you think City should invest in another position or player? And most importantly, will Guardiola finally manage to take Manchester City to the top of Europe with the help of this new signing? Don't forget to share your opinion in the comments below, as we are eager to hear what you think about these new directions City is taking. The movement in the transfer market for Manchester City promises to shake things up in the coming months, and we will be here to follow everything closely, bringing you the hottest updates. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to continue following everything about Manchester City, the team with a bright future ahead.